If you stand at a mirror and repeat the affirmation, "I am confident," 10 times, but your internal mental blueprint reads, "I am inadequate," the affirmation will fail. Positive thinking alone cannot overwrite a negative self-image. Dr. Maxwell Maltz developed this theory based on what he saw in his plastic surgery practice. While fixing a physical flaw, like a facial scar, often improved a patient's life, he noticed many patients remained insecure even after a successful surgery. Altering the physical face did nothing to cure their internal feelings of inferiority. Maltz concluded humans possess an internal face, the self-image. This internal blueprint is constructed from past experiences, humiliations, and failures, forming the boundary of your potential. Grab a pen and paper. We will perform plastic surgery of the mind and rewrite it. Maltz's primary rule is that all of your actions, feelings, and abilities are always consistent with your self-image. If you view yourself as a failure, you will find ways to fail. You cannot change your external reality without first changing this internal data. Step 1. Look at your paper and write down one specific, recurring negative belief you hold about yourself. This could be a belief that you freeze under pressure or that you are unable to speak in public. Maltz argues that we are essentially hypnotized by these beliefs. We accepted negative feedback from our childhood or from an isolated past failure, and we internalized it as absolute truth. To activate your success mechanism, you must dehypnotize yourself by asking 3 rational questions about the belief you just wrote down. Is there any rational reason for my belief that I cannot do this? Am I passing judgment on myself based on an isolated past failure? And would I come to this exact same conclusion about a friend in my situation? This requires your logical mind to analyze and reject the premise of your old belief. This audit is a required step. You cannot build a positive self-image if your subconscious is processing data from a belief you haven't consciously dismissed. To explain how to write new data, Maltz used the science of cybernetics, the study of control in machines. He proposed that the human subconscious is an entirely impersonal, goal-striving machine. Think of a cybernetic servo-mechanism, like a self-guided torpedo. It is programmed with a specific target. As it moves, its sensors detect when it veers off course, which is negative feedback. It uses that feedback to correct its steering and hit the target. Your brain and nervous system operate with this same mechanical efficiency. It does not care if the goal you feed it is success or failure. It simply acts on the target coordinates you provide and steers you toward them. Step 2. Look back at your paper. Cross out the old belief and write down the exact opposite, positive outcome. This is the new coordinate target for your internal machine. Understand the division of labor here. Your conscious mind is the programmer. You do not need to force the outcome. You only need to program a clear target and let the subconscious servo mechanism figure out how to hit it. Step 3. Put the paper down, close your eyes, and visualize that new positive outcome. Maltz calls this the theater of the mind. The neurological foundation here is that the nervous system cannot tell the difference between a physical experience and an experience that is vividly imagined. When you mentally visualize an action, the same neural pathways fire in your brain. Maltz cites studies of basketball players who improved their free throw shooting percentages simply by sitting in a chair and visualizing themselves making perfect shots. They achieved nearly the same improvement as players who physically practiced on the court. To make this work, enhance your visualization. Make the mental picture detailed. Notice the sights, hear the sounds in the room, and focus on the physical feeling of remaining calm and succeeding. If your mind wanders and you visualize failure, do not panic. Treat that image exactly how the torpedo treats a wrong turn, as negative feedback. Acknowledge it and steer the mental image back to success. By completing this vivid rehearsal, you are creating success memories. Your servo mechanism processes these mental movies as real data and uses them to rewrite your self-image. Step 4. Open your eyes. It is time to test your newly programmed mechanism in the real world by letting go. When we fear the judgment of others, we tend to over-control our behavior. We consciously monitor every word and movement. This generates excessive negative feedback in the brain, which leads to acting awkwardly or freezing up. Practice disinhibition. Decide to care less about what others think. Stop monitoring your actions and trust your automatic success mechanism to guide you. Ultimately, a truly liberated personality is simply the result of an automatic success mechanism running smoothly without constant conscious interference. You have now updated your internal coordinates. This approach to personal transformation comes directly from Dr. Maxwell Maltz and his book, Psycho-Cybernetics. But your servo-mechanism requires repetition to make these changes permanent. Set aside 15 minutes every day to return to your theater of the mind and mentally rehearse your new goals. This daily mental retreat also serves as a do-it-yourself tranquilizer. It intentionally disconnects you from external pressures, clearing the static from your nervous system and reducing daily anxiety. You are the operator of your own brain and nervous system. When you change the internal blueprint, your automatic steering system begins to align your actions with that new data. Subscribe for more.